It is week 22 of Let's Chat with Kat and Pat. And in this week's episode, Kat complains about the bags under her eyes. Pat complains that Kat's been addressing both Pat and the dog as honey. And both Kat and Pat, they look forward to a little Sarasota getaway this weekend. All that and more coming up right now on episode 22 of Let's Chat with Kat and Pat. It is week number 22 of Let's Chat with Kat and Pat. Patrick Gilroy alongside Katrina Patiri here. It is a Monday night. We are on schedule. We are recording on time on our scheduled day. This gives me time to edit and add music and do everything that needs to be done to publish it at some point later on tomorrow. And I feel like we have been struggling with this tremendously over the last couple of months. We've done a great job of getting a podcast out weekly. Like we have lived up to our commitment, but the idea of recording on a Monday night while Connor's at Civil Air Patrol, me editing it on Tuesday, and it being published sometime late in the day Tuesday, early evening Tuesdays, has gone out the window. Mm-hmm. So for those people that have come to expect a certain standard from us, the standard now has to be lowered. It's like when you get older and you get back in the dating pool, there is lowered expectations. That's what people have to have. We promise you that there will be one episode a week for the foreseeable future, but we cannot commit to a specific day that episode will be released. I mean, is that fair?
I think that's fair. It needs to be fair because, again, still sporting the bags underneath my eyes. We're doing all we can to stay on schedule, and very much looking forward to our trip away this weekend.
Yeah, we're going to Sarasota this weekend, honey, which brings me to our first topic here tonight, because I have a hard time with this. You call me honey, then you call other people honey, and I don't know how to, in a world where self-identifying has become something that we all, whether we like it or not, have to do. If you live in a professional world with a professional workforce, especially if it's corporate, they are making us self-identify whether we like it or not. I can't just be like, yeah, I'm a guy, I'm attracted to women, I have a penis, I am very healthy and happy to say, I am Patrick, I am a man. I have to be, he, him, or they, them, or like it's so confusing.
So many times I go to be like, hey guys, like as in no big deal, but I can't say guys. I can't. I have to say,
hey y'all.
Hey team.
Yeah.
Like,
hey team.
Hey everyone.
You have
like,
very specific because you don't want to
delete.
You don't want to offend, right?
When I'm at home and I'm comfortable and it's like Saturday and I've had a couple glasses of wine, you're honey, the dog's honey, the kids are honey. Everybody's honey.
But sometimes you're like, hey, honey, come over here. And I come over like a dutiful man that I am. And you're like, yeah, I'm not talking to you.
I was talking to the dog.
Looking for the dog to come over. I was going to feed the dog some leftovers from the fridge.
Yeah.
Like, feed me the fucking leftovers from the fridge. Like,
well, they've been sitting there for 2 days. You didn't eat them.
I didn't eat. I've been working. Like, I haven't been home. What do you want me to say? But it's confusing and mildly not disturbing, but offensive in a weird way that the dog and I are essentially the same thing to you in your brain. Like, you must consider us on the same level if we have the same nickname.
Well, I love the dog, like, unconditionally. You see what I do for the dog?
You do love the dog unconditionally.
Like, the care that I give for the dog, do I not give similar care to you?
You do, but there's got to be a difference. There has to be a difference. Are you sexually attracted to the dog?
No.
Are you sexually attracted to me?
Yes.
Our dog is a female. Are you bisexual?
No.
No? Okay. Are you into bestiality?
God, no.
Okay, so we're like 0 for 3. So
I remember one time, I have a quick story for bestiality.
Oh, Jesus, where are we going with this?
So when I worked for Best Buy and we started bringing in digital imaging and we had...
Are you talking like porno videos?
No. We were like bringing in like a camera department, this whole thing. And so part of it was still film and part of it was still when it started going to disc.
Oh, like early digital cameras.
Yeah, like I'm talking like 2004. So
they're popping like a 3.5-inch floppy in those things.
Yeah, like we're throwing it back like 20 years.
Yeah.
So they decide, all right, let's promote me to digital imaging supervisor, manager, whatever the title was.
Yep.
So we got to go away for this training to learn how to develop film.
Fucking humble brag right there.
Process it all, do the whole thing, and we got to go to this class in Framingham, and that's where the home office was. And we're sitting there, and they're going over all this training, And as you go to process photos, there's photos that if you see things, you have to alert the authorities.
If you see something, say something. This is the
Yes.
early days of that.
Correct.
Yep.
So one of them, like child porn, obviously.
Yep.
Like if you feel like somebody's being physically abused, obviously. And then they say bestiality. And I raise my hand because I'm like, what the hell does that mean?
You never saw a horse fuck a woman?
No. Like,
oh, Jesus. When this is over, let me show you.
I had no idea what it is. So I raise my hand, I ask, and the instructor looks at me with a little bit of an attitude and goes, "Are you messing with me right now?" And I was like, "No, I'm 100% serious. I don't know what that means." And he's like, "What rock did you come out from underneath?" And I was like, I genuinely, like, I have no idea. And then at that point, he realized...
You're like a young mom, though. Like, clearly you had had sex. Like you were, you know what I mean? Like, you were young, but were a mother, like you weren't some saint.
And I got pregnant, I got married. So, like, clearly...
Right, but
like, I'm, like, I don't have exposure to, like, people fuck animals. Like, I had no idea what the hell it was. And then he goes ahead and explains it, and I was like, oh my God. Yeah. And then he's like, okay, judging by the look on your face, you really didn't know. Let's refrain from asking any questions. And then it was like the going joke when I got back to the store.
Have you ever heard the expression, like, hung like a horse or horsecock? Like, where the hell do you think that came from?
An actual horsecock?
You actually said to me one time early on, you're like, you're hung like a fucking horse. And that's where it comes from.
From bestiality, not a horse having a big hoo-ha?
Well, again, the horse having a big hoo-ha became mainstream in the early 2000s when porn went mainstream and everybody was buying DVDs and shit. And if you were among the ultra perverted and, you know, one-on-one sex, straight sex didn't get you off, and then group sex didn't get you off, the next natural, I guess, transition, because it became a thing for a long time.
Well, I in 2004, I had no idea what the hell it was. I'm sitting there in photography school, how to develop film for Best Buy.
Yep.
And I was the one that asked a stupid question.
So in 2024, where we live in southern New Hampshire, and we are quite literally surrounded by small horse farms. There's got to be a half a dozen of them within 10 miles of here. Is bestiality something, now that you know about it?
Oh, God, no.
How interested are you
in not something
actually
I identify with.
having sex with somebody that is hung like an actual horse?
I'm not interested in animal sex.
There's no animal sex for you?
No. Okay.
No bestiality?
No.
But this goes back to honey. So again... You're so cute right now.
Well, in 2004, I could call my coworkers, honey, can you get that? Honey, can you pass me this?
Yeah, you're an Italian woman.
Like, and I was the person who did that with my French tip nails.
Right.
You can't do that at work anymore.
You can't. But like, as an Italian woman, and I grew up, you know, half Italian, half Irish family. In my Italian side of the family, everybody was fucking honey. Like, everybody was honey. My grandmother, my aunts, my mother, everybody was called honey. And now I feel like it's we don't have a large family. It's oftentimes just the three of us. When I say that, I mean
the dog and the kids. That's where we're at.
No. There is plenty of nights where it's just me, you, and the dog because the kids are with their other parents.
Right. Like, and those are my options for honey.
You're hollering for honey. And I feel like the one time that I don't get up and come to attention and, you know, say, I'm here, what do you need?
It's going to be a worse injury than the ceiling fan.
Yes, 1,000%. 1,000%.
Well, that one's actually going to be, honey, I've fallen and I can't get up.
Well, you know, I thought that's what it was last week. And when I went upstairs, in fairness, you were on all fours.
I was.
Much like the horse that we're making fun of. But you were on all fours in agony.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought that you were tall enough to get clipped by a ceiling fan?
I'm still sporting a pretty gnarly bruise here.
You are. You are. It's.
I look like I got in a fight. I'll take the street, like walking in the grocery store. I got the street credit, you know.
Thug life in Wyndham.
Let's go.
All right.
West Coast means Wyndham.
So what is the moral of the story here? So I just have to get used to. It's 50-50. When you say honey, it could be me, it could be the dog.
I have a glass of wine or two in me. It's like after 7 o'clock, we're at home. On the weekend, I'm comfortable, able to leave the stress of work away, that my shoulders are able to actually relax. Everybody's going to be honey.
Yeah, yesterday, you had no wine when this happened. And I vividly remember this, and I wrote it down in my phone to bring it up to sort of talk about during this segment.
Oh, good.
So yesterday, Sunday morning, you got up to pee at like 4:45 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And the dog was outside the door, but she was wanting to come in.
Yeah.
So you let her come in, and then she immediately went to her dog bed.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, honey, come join me in bed. Honey, come to bed. So, again.
Okay, so half asleep or a glass of wine?
Yeah, but what happens if I miss that window?
You know
Because
what? I'm not
when you
on-
say,
I'm
honey, come
single.
join me in bed, and I'm missing an opportunity to get laid because you are calling for me, but I somehow mistakenly confused myself for the fucking dog.
Now you're just like reading into it a little too much.
Well, you know what? It's screwing with my head.
Mhm.
And part of what makes us work is our ability to communicate. So I am communicating with you.
I will try to address the dog more by her name.
Well, you can do that. Or can we just make a rule?
Can I see?
If you're topless and you say, honey, come join me in bed, can that just be reserved for me? And if you're
Sure.
fully if you have on like one of my oversized T-shirts and you say, honey, come join me in bed, that is
You're
designated
like,
for the
I
dog.
must be referencing the dog.
That's for the dog, right? That's much
Okay,
easier.
So I'm glad we've cleared this up.
That's it. That's what we do. Now we've checked those boxes and we move on to the next. Now you started the show talking about the bags under your eyes, right? So I think they've gotten much better. They still are there, but they're nothing like they were.
I know, but like Saturday, you came into the bedroom to like see what the hell I was doing, and I sat down to read the mail, passed out.
Yeah,
like,
you were sound asleep.
Drooling on the computer.
Lights on, TV on, fully dressed, and you didn't even look comfortable. Like
No, I like literally at some point just keeled over, fell asleep.
like you toppled over. It's not like you put your legs up in the bed and got under the covers. You were fully dressed on top of the covers, and it was apparent that you were sitting on the side of the bed trying to read the mail with your feet down on the floor, and you just fell to the left into the bed. It's not like you were snuggling with yourself or in the fetal position trying to be comfortable. You just shut off.
Yeah.
Yep. You powered down, so to speak. But your bags under your eyes aren't quite as bad as what they were before we went to Nashville.
Yeah.
Nashville was a good trip. And this is where we get back to the early days of the podcast, because this is what makes the relationship work and also what makes the finances work. We pulled that trip off and we already talked about it. It didn't cost a lot of money at all. And now we get to do it again. So we are leaving Thursday morning for Sarasota. We're doing a trip with friends, which we haven't done a lot of in the past.
Which is wonderful. I'm very excited.
I'm excited about it, looking forward to it. We've got a great relationship with this particular couple that we're going with. And I hope we come home with at least the same, if not a better relationship. I feel like you do learn a lot about people when you
share a house.
When you share a house for a few days.
Well, the good news is we're staying in your boss's house, so there's like separate
yeah,
areas
it's big
of the
enough.
house.
It's big enough. So there's
I think it'll be
opportunity
fine.
for privacy. Now, I'm looking forward to it, but it's another trip where, like, on the surface, if you don't know us, it's like, oh my God, Cat and Pat are away again. But we're flying for free.
Yeah.
Staying in a house for free.
Yeah.
And that house comes with cars.
Right.
So the only...
And a kitchen and an awesome grill. So I'll be going grocery shopping, although I'll splurge a little bit at Whole Foods. It's okay.
It's okay, but it's so much cheaper than going out to eat for 3 meals a
100%.
day. Like,
I've already got the shopping list going. I looked at all the sales.
You're excited too. You're beaming right now talking about it.
Because if you buy everything on sale at Whole Foods and you're a Prime member, then you save an extra 10%. So like, I get to introduce my whole like shopping thing to a friend of like, you can only buy what's on sale or it's a no. And then afterwards, we're going to go to Target, and Target will have some of the other items you want that are also on sale.
Yeah, you
and
get
we'll get
excited.
like a $10 gift card. And
you get so excited about the game portion of it.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
to you, that is the fun thing. It's like you don't want to go in saying, okay, the men like lobsters and and I don't know, king crab legs and steak. So we have to go out and buy these for the men. Like you don't do that.
No.
It's what everybody likes. And whatever happens to be on sale that week, you will create a spectacular meal around whatever that is.
But then I also have all the happy hours notated, the live music notated, at the different venues and different
We
places.
can't go to that pizza place for music that we went to before. The one early on, we were intrigued by it, and then we went there.
Oh my God, we're never going there again.
Yeah.
That was awful.
Driving by it, it's such a tease.
Yeah.
It's a big place.
Well, there was The music was supposed to be karaoke.
Yeah, and it wasn't.
It was bad karaoke.
It was terrible.
And the pizza was bad.
Everything was bad. It was a bad experience. But I can see our friends driving by that place because we're getting very close to where our destination is.
Yeah.
And it looks like the type of place that we'd all be attracted to going to. And we're going to have to be like, no.
No, that's not the place to go. But like, so I have the $5 smash burgers at McGrath's Irish Pub that we like in Lakewood Ranch.
Yep.
That's Thursday night. I've got the music schedule at Ed's Tavern.
Is the Irish band going to be out and about? Like
they don't have music listed right now, but I do follow them on Facebook, so it's usually day-to-day updates.
Okay. All right.
So we'll see. And then I've got like the Daiquiri Bar, Captain Jack's, all those happy hours, and we have our menu items that we like there. And then the Siesta Key Oyster Bar always has a live music, and then the place across the street, Gilligan's. But then there's that Italian restaurant that we like that we might go get an appetizer and a drink and see what they think for food, because that may be an option.
Are we going
for dinner?
Are we going to solidify where we go for dinner? Are you talking where we go for dinner after our wedding?
Yes.
Okay. So are we solidifying the wedding plans this weekend too?
Yeah. So there's two options. So we're either picking a hotel, and the small number of people that we're inviting,
intimate is the word,
can stay at the hotel, and then we would go out to dinner at this restaurant. Or option 2 is we rent a luxury Airbnb on the beach, and everybody has their own room and suite, and then we like make food and do our version of a frat house in our 40s.
But here's the thing: no matter what we decide,
it'll be wonderful.
But we have to decide this weekend.
Oh, we have to decide.
Like we're running out of time if we're going to invite people.
Oh, it has to we have to come home with a decision and communicating.
I have already made the decision. I want to marry you. I will do it tomorrow.
Okay.
It does not have to be there.
Unfortunately, my work schedule has prevented us from actually having a weekend where we can go and do it, and they are doing everything they can to keep me occupied.
Go to the courthouse. I can deal with the divorce shit and marrying you all at the same time. Let's go to the courthouse. Like we're gonna
divorce shit.
Yeah, all the stuff that's upcoming.
Oh God, we're gonna have to show up with 3 divorce decrees. How embarrassing is that? That's gonna be a great podcast episode.
What I meant. I'm gonna have to go get a copy of my divorce degree, and you're gonna have to be Katrina Patiri, Katrina Jordan, Katrina Ordway. You're gonna be.
Well, I have copies. I travel within my glove box just in case. They have come in handy.
You carry your divorce decrees around with you?
Yes, it's come in handy.
Why?
Well, the one time I almost got arrested for an Easy Pass overage charge that my second ex-husband ran up the bill on that had nothing to do with me, and having that divorce decree handy actually saved my ass.
Imagine how many tolls you had to blow through to risk getting arrested.
It was $873. It was considered a felony charge.
And how did you not know about this?
Because they were sending it to his email and not mine.
Because it had to be in collections.
Oh, yeah. But it wasn't coming. It was registered in my name, but none of the information was coming to me.
So did it hit your credit report?
No.
That's crazy.
No. And when I went in, I had to go into so I had to go to Concord. I had to dispute it, do the whole thing. Then the state troopers came out. They pulled me into a room. We discussed it. We gave over a couple different examples. They took the name. They did research, and they came back and they said, enough said. You were all set. We have cleared it. And then they put different safety precautions on for me just to have the Easy Pass that I have.
So it cannot be duplicated, used in the wrong way.
No, it's similar to how I have all my credit cards tagged.
So if you wanted to get a second Easy Pass under your account to put in my car, is that doable, or is that not?
It's doable. I just have to put some effort into it. It's not something where I can just go sign up and get it right away.
So you're happy that I've got my own Easy Pass?
I'm happy you have your own Easy Pass, but I'm also happy to put a couple days effort into getting the Easy Pass for the right way.
If you put 2 days of work into an Easy Pass, is the pass still considered easy at that point? Seems like a lot of work.
Well, I don't have somebody who's able to then use my name to sign up for
And the other thing is, how many tolls was this guy blowing through without a credit card attached to it? I mean, think about where he must have been going, things he must have been doing to rack up $800 in toll charges. That's fucking crazy.
Apparently there was 3 plates associated.
Oh, so he had his whole crew. He had Yeah, people that were going up and down the coast for him,
Like,
delivering and
yeah,
picking up all.
and so like my registrations had to get pulled, my
Oh
old
my God.
registrations had to get pulled, license plates that I previously had. Like when I tell you I went into an interrogation room, like I was there in Concord for like an hour just to justify that like I'm a victim here.
Yeah, you're not the one racking up this
No.
debt. You're not the one trying
No.
to pull one over
And-
on the state of New Hampshire.
And what happened is, coincidentally, this all came to life when I was planning Michelle and Ben's wedding and I was driving up north and I had to keep going through the toll pass. That's how I got into trouble. And I was ironically planning
What, did your
their
Easy
wedding.
Pass not work at that point? So, like, you went to go drive through and did the thing not go up? Or
Well, no. I mean, you just drive right through. It went up. But it pinged the trooper and I got pulled over for it being a felony charge.
You are a felon, Katrina.
And I'm like, I'm just trying to plan my best friend's wedding.
Yeah, it's like a movie.
Yeah.
My best friend's wedding.
Yeah.
Easy Pass.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to come home with a
Concrete plan.
We've already got the date locked up. All right, we've got it. That's all set with the minister and the photographer, which is my best friend and his wife.
Yeah.
But they've secured childcare for their kids. I told you that. Like,
Perfect.
they're good to go.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be a kid-free wedding, and we are going to creatively put that into the Save the Dates, where we
Correct.
don't come off as assholes, but we love all their children. We
Yes.
love them all.
We're not bringing our children. You should get a break from your children.
Let's have an adult weekend.
Well, and typically, if we'd done this right the first time, there shouldn't have been any children yet.
Okay. So when you say the first time, you mean the first and second time for you?
And the first for you.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but just to be clear,
Yeah.
the first and second time for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you are my second. I'm just getting
No,
the facts,
I mean,
the
just
facts
go ahead,
straight.
Continue to rub it in.
No,
Yeah.
I just want to get the facts straight
Yeah.
because good things in life are worth the wait. And I genuinely believe that I have been worth the wait for you.
Mm-hmm.
You certainly know you've been worth the wait for me.
Mm-hmm.
So things happen, whatever. Like, let people judge. I don't give a shit. When we first met, you had no intention of getting married again.
Yeah.
None. You were willing to fall in love and be committed again.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea of a third marriage was, you said to me, I'm not 100% against it, but it's going to have to take
A lot to get me there.
Yeah. And we
Yeah.
got you there.
Yeah.
So I win, and I'm excited about that. But I just want to come home because our idea has shifted a little bit over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Originally, it was going to be you and I. We're going to go to Florida, get married on the beach, and
Yeah. If work hadn't gotten in the way, we would have gotten married in 2024.
right, exactly. But we're not all that close with our families, but there's a handful of friends that we do love like their family.
We just need.
And we want them to know that they're welcome. So that's where the Save the Dates come in. We
Yeah.
would love to have you there. If you can't come,
No big deal.
no big deal. There's no judgment passed, but they need to know
They were included.
that they were included and we thought about them.
Yeah.
But if we wait too much longer on the Save the Date,
Good grief.
we are the assholes again.
I know. Well, I started creating a newsletter that I can show you later.
Oh my God, we're going to be like the people at Christmas that send out the newsletter instead of the card.
Sure. How are we not the corny people?
Oh God. Do you say the horny people?
Corny.
Oh, okay.
With the C.
See? Well,
Just think the C's, the Celtics.
yeah, so there we go. See, another great transition. The Celtics are world champions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still in disbelief. It's 1 week from today. So last time, it was 7 nights ago when they won the championship. And it's been a whirlwind 7 days. And they're not done celebrating yet. They're all at Fenway tonight. They're the honorary guests of the Red Sox to start the game. The parade was on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Like this party continues. It's amazing.
Well, so today I had a pretty badass job interview. And I think I did pretty good in the interview. But at the end of the interview, they're like, is there anything you want to tell us? Like, basically, this is your opportunity to pitch yourself as to why they should choose you. And so, like, I do my whole thing on, like, why I'm so great, blah, blah, blah. And at the end, I'm like, I'm a committed quality worker. I'm a huge Boston Celtics fan. If that gives any, like, nod to what it will be like I'm committed to win, to perform, to do a good job, go Celtics. And one of the guys on the other end of the interview is from Dallas.
He's like, you were doing so well up until...
Yeah, I refrained from the fuck Kyrie. But Yeah.
Because you're a classy broad.
Oh, of course.
You're a classy Boston broad.
Yeah.
Fuck Kyrie.
Mhm.
All right. Like, so that was one of the funniest parts of the duck boat parade, and the backlash on social media is just it's mind blowing to me. But Portnoy from Barstool was in one of the duck boats,
Okay.
and he was leading the "fuck Kyrie" chants throughout the city of Boston.
While we're watching the parades on the TV, you can just hear it.
Yeah, everybody's screaming, "Fuck Kyrie, fuck Kyrie." And there's people in the national media saying, all right, isn't it time for the "fuck Kyrie" or Kyrie sucks chants to stop? And it's like, no. You know what? No. How about Kyrie straps on a pair of balls, comes to Boston, and beats the Celtics? And when he does that, then those chants will stop.
Correct, because he's earned it.
Correct. But right now, he's nothing but a fraud that came to Boston, sold the Celtics fans a bill of goods that he didn't mean, left the city, and he did promise the Boston Celtics one thing. He said, I will lead you to the 18th championship, and thank you, Kyrie Irving. You led us to the 18th championship because of your failures as a member of the Dallas Mavericks, and that's fine. But the fuck Kyrie chants and the Kyrie sucks chants are never going to stop. Just like nobody cares about the Red Sox today the way they did 15, 20 years ago. But the Yankees suck chants will never stop. This is Boston.
Yeah.
Like whether we
take it or leave it.
That's it.
We're committed. We're
can
loyal.
We can be ultra professional and be exactly who the world needs us to be. Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. But I'm sorry, like if it comes to our sports and the athletes that we love and the teams that we love, if the passion isn't real and if it starts being fake and fraudulent, then we're no longer the world's greatest sports city. Yeah. And by the way,
gotta go all in.
Like the Celtics parade set a record
for how many people attended. It's astonishing.
There is no other parade in U.S. sports history across all major professional sports in all major cities in the last 100 years that had as many people come out to celebrate their team as we had here in Boston for the Celtics on Friday. And when you think about that, and then you pair that with the idea that it was, I believe, the 21st championship parade in New England, in Boston, since 2001, when you include the Patriots, the Red Sox, the Bruins, and the Celtics, that is banana land, because you'd think that people would be over it at this point. And not only are they not over it,
but I mean, how like the duck boats.
It's perfect.
You can't do it any better way.
It's perfect. The whole thing is perfect. And bravo to the Celtics. Bravo to the city of Boston. Mayor Wu, Wick Grossbeck, Steve Pagliuca, and his awfully red-dyed hair. It was disturbing to see, Steve. Just let it go, man. You're 70 years old, my man. Just
the Irish.
Let it go.
Gotta go.
But like the whole thing was just, it was perfect from start to finish. And now they're at the point where, today, unfortunately, it made me sad to hear that O'Shea Brissett didn't pick up his second-year option. No. It was $2.5 million. He opted to become a free agent to try and make more money. They're probably going to lose 3 or 4 players around the fringe of the team, and he may be one of them. He's not a big-time contributor to this team. He's easily replaceable, but the idea of losing anybody from this team as they try to repeat as champions next year kind of sucks. Yeah. Because they fulfilled a goal and a dream that we've all had here watching Tatum and Brown grow up for the last 7 or 8 years, and they finally hit that mountaintop, and it's like, just run it back with everybody.
Yeah, but he's going to go get picked up like Neesmith did or something.
Yeah, somebody's going to pay him. He's going to make some good money.
Yeah.
But I would be remiss if we didn't do this, because, part of this celebration and part of what makes the show what the show is and what makes you who you are is our incredible love of dogs. Like we're dog people. We are not cat people.
Deathly allergic.
Nothing wrong with cat people. If you're a listener to the show and you're a cat person,
can't breathe, can't sleep, can't function.
We're both in the same boat. Like we are just super allergic to cats. And we may be buying a cat at some point in the near future.
For your mom.
For my mom.
I know. I'm already like.
Well, I mean, she's not physically able to care for another dog.
No, and it's definitely the way to go, and she does need like a pet companion. And I do belong to a couple humane societies, so that way, if and when that day comes, we can get a deal on the proper cat for your mom.
A big friend of mine from my radio days, over the years has been Dan Greenberg from Barstool Sports, and he's on Twitter at Stool Greeny. He's awesome, and he was on my show weekly, bi-weekly for years and years and years. He's been working for Barstool for 10 years, and one of the coolest things about him was on Twitter early on when the Celtics were bad in the early 2010s to when they got really good with Isaiah Thomas. He had his giant St. Bernard that was named Larry, and Larry was pictured after every game, win or loss, and Larry would be smiling after a win, and they would take this picture like miserable after a loss. It was awesome. And during playoff runs, it was like, Larry says the Celtics are 4 wins down, 12 wins to go. Larry became a part of the culture and the fabric and the dialogue. And then, unfortunately, St. Bernards are giant dogs. They don't live a long life, and Larry died. But at the same time that Larry was dying, he bought Walter after, I love Walter, after Walter McCarty. And Walter came into the world in 2016, same year the Celtics got Isaiah Thomas. And for 8 years, we've watched Walter go from like a little puppy the size of this guy's fist to a 150-pound giant St. Bernard.
Okay.
But Walter, after every game, can be seen watching the games, or even better, like lying in front of Dad's laptop, analyzing film. Walter was predicting winners. Like, Walter was a part of the fabric, and Walter was fine. Wasn't sick, 8 years old, older for a St. Bernard, but certainly not in danger of dying. So Walter was seen with his dad, celebrating last Monday when they won the championship. And then yesterday, Walter wasn't moving well, was in distress. They took him to the vet. Turned out that he had fluid around his lungs. Turned out that was lung cancer, and Walter died like that night. Like, went from healthy, jumping around, celebrating a championship to gone. So Dan wrote this incredible blog today, and all it does is, we've gone through it with Corey lately, and Corey's 8 years old.
And she's sick right now.
She's 8 years old, but she's a mutt, and mutts can live 13, 14, 15, 16 years. Like, I'm not predicting Corey's imminent demise, but she's having trouble moving around. She's had a massive ear infection. She's just a little bit off. Before we take her for a walk, she gets all excited still, but then she's got to like stretch her legs. Like, it's like
the early onset doggy arthritis or something.
And it's just like, there is nothing more fulfilling, genuine, and real in this world than the love that a dog gives you. Cat people, I'm sorry that you'll never experience this. For whatever reason, you just don't want to believe in it. But the way that a dog loves you is better than any type of love you can really ask for from anybody not named mom, dad, or your husband, your wife, your partner. Like, they need you, and they pick their person. Yeah. And
you owned her first, but she picked me.
Yeah, she picked you.
She's mine.
Well, I mean, the other adult female in her life was pretty awful. So you came in, and she's like
a blessing.
She's like, oh my God, this one looks good, smells good, gives me leftovers, walks me every day, takes me to the vet. Like,
I get Blue Buffalo.
Yeah, like you upgraded her food, like her whole life upgraded, and
multiple beds throughout the house. But she's spoiled. When
you moved in, though, in all seriousness, like, we can shit on the exes all we want. When you moved in, she was a timid dog that had bitten one or two people before,
and flipped out at everything.
Didn't want to be touched.
Yeah,
like, really scared to death. And now, one of your complaints, because you had her pretty dialed back within 6 to 12 months. But you would always get upset because she wasn't willing to sit with you or cuddle with you.
She's a cuddly dog, yeah. But now she sleeps in bed with us.
Yeah, now she's your cuddly dog. Yeah. But it sucks.
And she lays like down by my legs when I work now too.
Yeah, she won't leave your side.
No.
She's almost protecting you.
Yeah. Like, it was the I saw some meme about, like, you're a strong woman if your dog follows you to the bathroom, like something like that.
But that's what she does.
I was like, oh, that's so me.
Well, because if you don't shut the door all the way where, like, the latch closes,
she's like, I gotta make sure mom's okay.
Yeah, she pokes herself in. Mom's been in there for a minute. I gotta poke myself in, make sure mom's good.
Well, when I had the ceiling fan incident, she was right there.
Yeah. So I guess it was just a cruel reminder, and you went through it right before I met you with
Yeah.
Gizmo.
Mm-hmm.
We've been together for pushing 5 years now. And in a dog's life, that's like close to half their life.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not fair.
Yeah.
And it's a nice
And we're going away this weekend, and we're entrusting your daughter to
So
watch her.
that's how we're going to end the show.
Yeah.
So we're lucky in so many regards. And one of those regards has been, when we met, your son was, what, 16?
Yeah.
Okay. But he had his car,
Mm-hmm.
and he's responsible and driving and whatever. So if he was living with dad at the time, he was willing to come here, and he still is. He's willing to come here, and we never leave for that long. It's
Right.
Come for. So we ask him,
Like 2-3 days.
we'll pay you, X many dollars a day. Come here, walk the dog, make sure there's fresh food and water. Spend 20, 30 minutes with her. Because again, Corey's super independent. She's got the doggy door. She's not your typical dog. She doesn't need us to go to the bathroom.
Mm-mm.
Like, she needs to go, she runs out the doggy door, runs right back in. Automatic feeders. Like,
well, and she's never been a super cuddly, engaging dog.
No, she's not. But she's not going to be the dog that stands by the door and is like, let me out. She's also not the dog that's going to, piss and shit all over the house.
Oh, God, no. She'd be, like, horrified if she did that.
Oh, she would be so ashamed.
She would be like, oh, I can't live here.
It would ruin her.
Yeah.
It would ruin her, which is why when you suggested the doggy door, I think that's when her behavior really started
She's
to
like,
change.
Oh, I like this chick.
Yeah, because she's letting me be independent. Like, I can use my own brain now.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to take a piss. I can do it on my own.
I got an auto dog feeder, so whenever I want anything, I just paw it, and the food comes out.
Yep.
Like
water,
water on demand. I don't have to drink out of the toilet anymore.
But we're not going to leave her to be left alone.
No.
She always has to have the company of somebody that she knows and loves for an hour a day.
Yeah.
It's not a lot to ask, but as our kids get older and busier, it becomes more challenging sometimes.
Yeah. How do you fit it into the schedule?
Right. Your son's done a really good job, but now we're at the point where we've got two of them to ask to help. So for the first time in our relationship, we have entrusted our daughter, to come in and, come from mom's house and drive her own car and mix it in with her work schedule and her school schedule to come here. And she's accepted the challenge. She knows the expectations. I'll say it again. Thank God you've got cameras set up everywhere.
And we have backup options.
We have backup options that with people we can call that are local that will come in and save the day if the kids let us down. But I feel like every time we leave, this is just a long weekend. It's
3 days.
It's 3 days. This is not a long time to go. But for whatever reason, every time we go, we've got something in the back of our hearts and brains and minds that are just, I just hope this goes okay.
Yeah.
And this time, the roles have reversed. I can't look at you and say, fuck, I'm really disappointed in Roger.
Right.
Because that makes you feel like shit when I do that. But I also I have the right to express it like it's our dog.
But
like,
now I'm super excited for it. The roles have changed.
I am really disappointed in Caitlin.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Hopefully, she shuts you the fuck up.
She shines and she does a
great
great job.
Yeah.
And, they always are asking for money or having different things. So, if we have to give them the money, at least they can earn it a little bit.
And she did a really good job and gave me a nice Father's Day. And, she was, when we didn't ask her to do this. We brought up the idea to her and said just down the line, because she knows how we've used Roger to do this. And she goes, oh, I would love to help with that. So we said, okay, you'd love to help with it. Why don't we try this? Do you have the time? And she came back and said, yes. So the responsibility now falls on her. Unfortunately, you put that trust into somebody, the ultimate being that pays the price if it fails
is the dog,
and the dog is not at her best right now.
Yeah. Although she has drastically improved since we got the hookup on the ear medicine.
Yeah, again, the friends we're traveling with hooked you up with
us up with some dog
prescription
ear medicine.
Is it
on the down low?
Okay, so when adults share prescription medication, that's a crime.
Right.
When dogs share it, where do we sit? Where do we stand with that?
I think we sit with it's okay.
Oh, we okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so we are going. We still have to make it. It's only Monday night. Like, we're so close, but we're so far away.
I know. And I keep batting everybody at work. Like, I am off unless somebody like dies.
Yeah,
it can wait till Monday.
You know something catastrophic is going to happen.
And I have to take my phone. I still have to process payroll and X, Y, and Z. Heaven forbid I take 2 days off from work. Meanwhile, I started my morning with 7 people calling out after they've all had a week off. I drove 963 miles to get my job completed last week. And everybody else had like a week off.
Yeah. Well,
we call out from work today. I'm like, good grief.
The thing about your job that will always burn me is you took less money for a job that valued work-family balance and gave you, because of your management role, quote-unquote unlimited paid time off. And in the years that you've had this job, you've never had 1 day off, let alone 2. Every time you take a day off, catastrophe happens, and
I've never even had a sick day.
You get the phone call or the email early on. We're so sorry to bother you on your day off, but you have to come save the day, and it's 100% of the time. Or we're sorry we're saying this to you on a day off, but your entire region and territory and role is changing, and there's nothing you can say to change that.
Right.
Like,
enjoy your weekend away.
We'll talk more about it on Monday.
Right.
All right.
Right. And for those of you that are thinking, just turn off your work phone, don't do X, Y, and Z. Well, you know what? They find a way to contact me on my personal phone.
Yeah. There's always going to be a way. But fingers crossed that the kids do a good job this weekend, that we go and we have a great time with our friends.
Well, we always come back rejuvenated.
It's a wonderful place.
There's something about it that is always like magical for us. When we come home, we feel like
it's why we chose to get married there.
Yeah.
Neither one of us, you nor I, had a connection to Sarasota before being together. It's a connection that we made together.
Yeah, but it's just that it's something that happens when we're down there where we just feel like life is good.
Yeah. Well, it's the alligator that lives in the backyard.
Allie.
Yeah, Allie the alligator, right there, lives in the backyard. Apparently, there's been a massive drought, so Allie and her friends...
You can see more prominently?
Richard said that we have to be careful because they've been walking the streets.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we just got to be careful. That's all. He said if you see them, just ignore them. Don't engage with them, is actually what he said.
Don't engage with the alligators.
Don't engage with the alligators, but they're walking the streets. They were walking the golf course yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So,
all right.
Allie and friends may be out and about this weekend.
So there may be no riffraff, but you got to worry about the alligators.
Yeah, it's a gated community, but I'm not sure the gates can keep those guys out. All right, that'll do it for week 22 of Let's Chat with Kat and Pat. Katrina, we are going to come back next week. We're going to report back on our weekend away with friends. We're going to report back on how well Caitlin did.
Yeah.
We're going to report back on the health of Corey.
Yeah.
And we're going to report back on our finalized wedding plans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big week.
Yeah.
It's a big week. And as of right now, schedule-wise, we are scheduled to record on Monday. It's on time.
July 1st.
On plan and on schedule. And here's the good news. The kids have only been on summer vacation for a week. But you know and I know that after the 4th of July, summer just fucking races by. Yeah. I don't want summer to go by quickly, but I do already want the kids to go back to school. And it's only been a week. It's going to be a long summer.
Well, you had the week off last week. I'm just embarking on it this week.
I had the week off last week?
Well, with the kids. I was away from work. I didn't experience it.
Yeah, no. I guess I had. I don't never get a full week. I had a couple of days.
No, but you had to do it by yourself.
I do it. That's right. I do it all by myself without the help of my partner.
With your children.
Go team. Go team. Her name is Katrina. My name is Patrick. If you like what you hear, please tell your friends. Find us on Spotify, on iTunes, on Apple Podcasts, and of course, as part of the Kirk Minahan Podcast Network on YouTube. For Katrina, I am Patrick. Talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye.